All right, guys, I've got a theory that I want to run by you. Please poke holes in it if it's totally off base, but here's two things that have happened that are making me kind of think this. So the GameStop shareholder meeting, as we know, was scheduled for yesterday. It was scheduled for 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern, and then the server crashed or whatever. The website couldn't launch because they had so many people logging in, which I was thinking, like, guys, duh, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of people trying to listen to this. How are you not prepared? And now, so the meeting got rescheduled to Monday. So Monday, all right, who cares? Monday is, June 14th. There's nothing exciting happening on Monday. I mean, technically, Monday is Global Garbage Man Day. It's also Eat All Your Vegetables Day. It's Ride to Work Day. It's Take Your Cat to Work Day. What? Take Your Cat to Work Day? No, they didn't. Did they just schedule the shareholder meeting on Take Your Cat to Work Day? Roaring Kitty is a cat. June 17th, Take Your Cat to Work Day. Okay. All right. Maybe it's probably just a coincidence, right? This is just a coincidence. There's nothing more to read into this. Wait just one more second. Some of you were quick to note that Roaring Kitty's current position is 9,001,000 shares. All right. We got the deep effing value update from Roaring Kitty himself yesterday. And let me just put it on the screen so you can see it. So he shows his current position. Let's see, deep effing value. I'm going to pull it up right here. He's got 9,001,000 shares. All right. That's the current position. And some of you were very quick to say, wait a second. Ryan Cohen, at one point, the current CEO, bought 9,001,000 shares. At that time, this was in 2020, it was a 12.9% stake in the company, RC Ventures LLC. This is a filing December 17th, 2020. So how is it not a message to the CEO that Roaring Kitty now has the same exact number of shares? How is it not a message from the CEO right back to Roaring Kitty that the shareholder meeting is scheduled on National Take Your Cat to Work Day? This can't be a coincidence. So now I'm starting to wonder, is Roaring Kitty going to end up on the board of directors? Is he going to someday become the CEO of GameStop? Now, I don't know about that, but the board of directors, well, that's what happened to Ryan Cohen. He took this big stake and he got himself on the board of directors. Now, at the time when Ryan Cohen took his stake, it was over 10%. Roaring Kitty's stake right now amounts to only 2%, which is kind of sad because it's the same number of shares, but it's only 2% of the company. And that's because of all the shares they sold onto the market. Secondary offerings, right? So he's just sold 120 million shares in the last month. So now the total share count is a lot higher. So 9 million is a smaller percentage. It's only 2 point something percent. We could just double check this. Let's see. We have over on let's see. What's the Roaring Kitty? Now before I show you that, it was on Morningstar right here. So currently Roaring Kitty's position is 2.1% stake. Now, Roaring Kitty posted this meme right here. This is Michael Scott from The Office, and this was when he got hired. This is when he came in, and this was his boss at the time. Is this Ryan Cohen? And is this Roaring Kitty coming into the company at GameStop? Now, this is crazy. This is all totally crazy. There's no way, right? Or is there a way? Now, we can see, of course, we've got the little Roaring Kitty a cat right there. Taking your cat to work. This is, I mean, does it am I crazy? Am I just following this, trail of little breadcrumbs and it's leading me nowhere? I guess we won't know for sure until next week, but it all seems to be, it's just, is it all a coincidence? Monday the 17th. Well, it's Monday. The fact that they had to reschedule the meeting, I mean, they had to know that the server was going to crash. Maybe that was the plan all along. The server's going to crash, we're going to reschedule it. But then why even schedule it for Thursday and then have to push it out? So maybe that's just a coincidence. It's not a coincidence, I can't imagine, that Roaring Kitty has 9,001,000 shares, the same exact position as Ryan Cohen. He did that intentionally. He's definitely sending a message by doing that. Maybe the message is that he wants to be on the board of directors. Now, the one thing that comes with being on the board of directors for a company is you have a fiduciary obligation to the company, and you also are going to be you're going to have blackout periods where you can't add positions or sell positions because you know inside information. So you can't trade on that information. Of course, you can't share that with other people. So being on the board of directors, I mean, I feel like would be very limiting for him, at least in terms of his social media presence and, posting these updates. But I don't know. That feels like that could get that could be like a gray area, or that could create problems where he's got to make sort of a choice of which one he's going to focus on. Naturally, focusing on being on the board of directors and developing his role with the company has significantly more long-term upside than continuing just to post on Reddit and Twitter. So I think that would be the right move. And here's something really inspiring. This is a guy, Roaring Kitty, Keith Gill, who took a $40,000, $50,000 position, turned it into $40 million through his belief in the company and identifying the deep value that GameStop has, or had certainly at the time in 2020. His belief that the risk related to digitalization of gaming was overdone, that bearish sentiment was overblown, and that this company had a more than 0% chance of turning it around. And the fact that it had over 100% short interest showed that the bears were just beating it up. We got the incredible short squeeze in 2021. Out of that short squeeze, the stock went all the way up to $500 a share. Now, as we know, it came all the way back down. And Ryan Cohen wasn't the CEO when GameStop made that first incredible move. So during that first incredible move, there were some, financial news, talking heads who were saying, oh my God, the company's got to sell shares. They've got to sell shares. They'd be out of their minds not to sell shares. And they didn't sell them up here. And I feel like, to me, that was sort of like they didn't want to take advantage of the situation. They didn't want to, I don't know, maybe get the Redditors on their back and furious with them. And so they just said, you know what, we're not gonna sell into this move. But the price came all the way back down here to 10. Well, adjusted for reverse split. Then, as we recall, it came all the way back up here in March, and then back down, and then back up, and it was starting to look like maybe we're going to have a chance of getting back through the high. And then, it kind of fell apart. It rolled over. So we had a period here of a couple years where there was definitely volatility. And we don't know how much Roaring Kitty was trading during these periods because he went offline for 3 years. So I think that many of us think that in this area, he had a huge position and cashed it in on this first move and might have at that time crossed over $200 million of profit, and then came back in and made his post on June 2nd that he was in with the $174 million position, right? So then we sort of track that back because there was a sort of continuity where we don't know how his account went from 2021 having, 39 million, 34 million, and then the price came down to then having 210 million. But he did say in his stream that was his money. So we have to assume that he just made it because he's really, really good at this, and, good for him. So he makes that money. Obviously, we get this big move. And then this time, Ryan Cohen, he's now the CEO. He got appointed in September 2023. So he does a shelf registration. They sell 45 million shares right back here on actually May 24th. They raised 933 million. Then it goes up again, and he sells another 75 million shares, raising another $2.1 billion. So they've now raised $3 billion. And, they've raised that right on sort of the back of retail traders who've been buying into this squeeze. And to be honest, they crushed Roaring Kitty's position. Because Roaring Kitty yesterday, we found out when he posted this P&L update, the YOLO update, that he closed out his options trade. Now, his options trade at one point was worth, if we go back here, it was worth, the total gain was $256 million. And he ended up closing it out for probably somewhere in the $20 million range, maybe a little bit more. But he, it's still profit, an incredible profit, but he gave back over $200 million on that. And that wasn't the plan. If that had been the plan, he would have just sold at the top, right? And taken that money and bought more shares. So that could not have been the plan. He didn't expect GameStop to release their earnings miss right before his live stream and to release a 75 million share secondary offering. So I don't know, I was kind of joking about what Roaring Kitty might really think of Ryan Cohen because he kind of just cost him like $700 million. Maybe I don't know. I mean, he said in his live stream that he believes in Ryan Cohen, and I can understand that. But on the other hand, I wonder if there's a part of him that's like, you ruined everything. This is Adam Sandler in that meme. You ruined everything because $700 million. That's got to sting. But again, like maybe. Okay, so maybe Ryan Cohen's going to make it right because, Ryan Cohen, now they've got $3 billion of cash they just raised in the last 30 days that probably wouldn't have happened if Roaring Kitty hadn't gotten out there on social media making these posts. So maybe they say to Roaring Kitty, all right, we see you just lost 700 million while we raised 3 billion. We're still obviously net positive. Why don't you come on into the fold? Come onto the board of directors. Maybe we find a way to put Roaring Kitty in a position of doing acquisitions for the company. And remember how I said just last week, I was talking about what's a possible 2024 transition for this company, right? So a possible 2024 transition was that maybe they move into the space of being an activist and investing, like basically a venture capital company, right? Let's see, where was that? It was right down here. So they become the Berkshire Hathaway of our generation, potentially, led by Ryan Cohen, and maybe they make Keith Gill the chief strategist, where he's the one helping pick stocks because he's obviously incredibly good at it. If he could do this on a level with $4 billion of GameStop money, I feel like they should hire him. I feel like they want to lock him down, get him in. And maybe by him buying those 9.9 million 1,000 shares, he's kind of giving the signal that he wants it. So, I don't know. I mean, this is just a theory. I'm just speculating. What do I know? I'm just putting pieces together, and maybe I'll be completely wrong on all of this. And these are all just coincidences, but it certainly is interesting. So, what do you think? Do you think Roaring Kitty's going to be on the board of directors? Or do you think he's going to get a role in the company? What do you think is going to be the future of GameStop? Are they going to do a complete pivot? Are they going to just shift business models? Maybe they keep running the current legacy business model kind of as long as they can. I mean, granted, it's losing money. So, at a certain point, cut your losses. But, it's a well-known brand and recognizable. Maybe with some strategic acquisitions in the digital gaming space, online gaming, they could make a transition. They've got the capital to do it. So they do that on the one hand, and then they also do some investing on the other hand. I don't know. But these are just questions. I'm so curious. I'm so excited to see what happens. So I thought the board meeting was going to be today. Some people were saying it was going to be today at 4 p.m. And I was like, Friday at 4 p.m. Ugh. All right, well, but no, it's going to be Monday, and I believe it's. I'll just confirm the time. I think they scheduled it for 11:30 Central Time, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, Monday the 17th on Cat Day. All right, so GameStop itself, the stock, not really, to be honest, reacting all that positively to Keith's Roaring Kitty's 9 million share total position now, and I think the reason to me is because. I feel like he signaled a teeny bit of weakness by selling when he sold, because he sold before a shareholder meeting. Well, we got the post later. So it was like, was he not expecting this meeting's going to be good? Because the meeting's coming up still on Monday. It's still happening. So why did he sell now? He sold for 75% less than the position was worth like a week ago. You know what I mean? So like that also is a little bit of defeat. Are other Redditors going to bail out? Is retail going to bail out? Or I don't know. I think that it just wasn't like the most maybe like offensive move just in terms of like the actual execution of that strategy. But that's a big part because of Ryan Cohen selling, the earnings and then the secondary offering. So those were totally out of his control. Anyways, the market right now, as we can see, not reacting was really in a significantly meaningful way. It popped up, it dropped back down, we went sideways, we're back up or back down. So we'll just have to see how things look on Monday. And no doubt, I'm going to be watching and streaming and for Warrior Pro members during this shareholder meeting. I got some trades today. I'll do a recap later. KAVL, $7,681. This stock went up over 400%. Some interesting filings on this one from just yesterday. Ends up making a squeeze here, and it goes from $1 all the way up to $8 a share. An incredible move. I probably should have made more on it, but I really did not expect it. So anyways, it's coming back down now. I try to focus on trading the front side of the move aggressively. Don't overtrade the back side. So now I'm sitting tight waiting for something else to pop up. And if nothing else comes up, I'll do my recap a little bit later, and I'll upload that for you guys here on YouTube. So if you guys want to join me at Warrior Trading this coming week, we've got a 2-week trial. It's 2 weeks. There'll be a link posted in the top of the comments, linked in the description. So you can be tuned in on Monday during the shareholder meeting. I'll be streaming. I may trade depending on, what comes of it. Maybe a non-event, but in any case, even if it is a non-event, I'll be trading, of course, every day next week. Although we do have a market holiday on Wednesday, June 19th. So it's actually going to be a little bit of a funny week because of that. But anyways, those of you guys who are doing 2-week trials, you also have access to a selection of classes from the curriculum. So you can spend some time studying. And I encourage you guys to get in there, study, enjoy the community, and use the scanners, use the newsfeed, use the charts. This whole platform is included during your 2-week trial right here. So you get to, really get in there, get fully immersed, and see what it's like to be in this community. So thanks as always for tuning in. I'll remind you, as always, I hope you hit that thumbs up. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not, thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, trading is risky. And stocks like GameStop, I'll do an episode later where I talk about how much I've made on it and break down my trades. It's very risky. You're an adult, manage your risk. If you want to trade it by all means. But just think about how much you're risking on these trades. I'm not a YOLO trader. I get in, I get out, I get in, I get out. I trade the range. So be responsible, manage your risk. Easy come, easy go in the market, right? All right, that's it for me. I'll thank you guys again for tuning in, and I'll see you back at it on Monday morning live streaming for Warrior Pro members.